Hello, my name is Kayla Howard. I am an undergraduate student here at the University of Arizona studying fine arts. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, just 2 hours north of Tucson. I'm a junior majoring in theater and minoring in education. I grew up dancing from the age of 6, which was always a huge part of my life. I began theater in high school and eventually I began teaching dance to young children in my community at the age of 15. The arts and education are two very important aspects of my life that I've always valued and mean so much to me. As an artist, not only do I enjoy making and creating art, but consuming and experiencing art as well. Throughout my studies here at UA, I've made a point to expand my horizons and venture into new areas within the field of art, to experience what this concept of art means to different people throughout different cultures. Arizona has been the perfect place to be for this endeavor, as there is an abundance of culturally rich art and historical pieces that have rich roots here on this land. I've studied a wide range of material from non-European cultural dance styles to different forms of theater and indigenous storytelling. In this study of cultural art, one often finds themselves delving into the history, importance, and current state of these cultures, and building a connection with this culture more often than not, becoming invested in the preservation and teachings of this culture as well. Being a part of the Native Student Outreach Access and Resiliency Program, or Native SOAR, this semester has been an absolute joy. This organization has allowed me to delve deeper into not only the history of the Native cultures I'd previously studied, but to get to experience them as well. As a non-Native person, it is important to acknowledge the historical injustice done to Indigenous peoples, and always support their sovereignty and uplift their underrepresented voices, especially as a student who inhabits their land every single day. Throughout being a part of this organization, I feel as though I'm able to give back to Native and Indigenous communities in the right way, with the proper guidance. This organization is led by a wonderful group of Indigenous faculty with so many genius ideas, and I'm surrounded daily by my Native peers who help to guide me through this service learning experience as a non-Indigenous mentor, inspiring me to serve my community and Native communities around me successfully and with pride. Native SOAR has provided wonderful opportunities for us mentors, from taking field trips to the Old Pasqua Museum, to a book talk with the authors and editors of the book Developments Beyond the Asterisk, New Scholarship and Frameworks for Understanding Native Students in Higher Education. Shelley Lowe, Dr. Natalie Youngbull, Dr. Heather Schotten, accompanied by moderator Dr. Chris Nelson. Getting to meet with these amazing women was an extraordinary experience, getting to hear about their process of writing this book and how it has impacted them as scholars and Native individuals. Within just the introduction of this scholarship, we learned that in 2013 it was reported Native college student enrollment was 1% of the total undergrad population. According to the 2021 NCES data, 0.7% of the total undergrad population identified as Native. By 2029, they project the enrollment will drop even further to 0.6%, and our goal at Native SOAR is to make sure this number does not drop any further and even increases to surpass that 1% mark recorded in 2013. I had never participated in service learning before Native SOAR, so this opportunity with SOAR was one that I was very excited to be a part of. While we were mentoring Native high school students within the local Tucson community to give them resources to get into colleges and onto good paths for their futures, we were also studying scholarship, including but not limited to Beyond the Asterisk, created by Native scholars regarding Indigenous populations within the sphere of higher education. Having this knowledge was very beneficial for us and really benefited our mentoring. We even had very niche scholarships surrounding service learning and mentorship for Indigenous students. The article, Indigenous Knowledge Realized, Understanding the Role of Service Learning at the Intersection of Being a Mentor and a College-Going American Indian, by Christine Nelson and Natalie Youngbull, is a data-filled source giving us the exact information we needed as mentors, as this article is a direct reflection of the Native SOAR program and its goals as an organization. This article was one of our first looks into service learning, allowing us to really digest the basis of mentoring, and how serving as a mentor allows participants to draw on 3 culturally relevant persistence factors in higher education: relationship, community, and power, reflecting on how service learning is good for both the mentee and the mentor. In this scholarship, it is noted how higher ed was not built for Native and Indigenous communities and is not designed for Native students to succeed, which is something that really stuck with me throughout our mentoring. With a huge lack of representation, many financial barriers, and lots of prejudice and discrimination, more often than not, Native students do not feel like they belong in higher ed or on college campuses. To combat this, we can look to Chapter 2 of Beyond the Asterisk, which encourages cultural programming as a pathway to success for Indigenous students. Here at UA, that program is NASA, the Native American Student Affairs. My Native peers have found a home in NASA, and I myself have always felt so welcomed and safe there, even as a non-Native student. Incorporating Native culture in student affairs is important and necessary because as our students continue to experiment, grow, and learn, they must have their capacity to carry with them what is most essential, their cultural identity. With all of this information and studying of Native scholarship, we were able to take this knowledge into the classrooms of Sunnyside High School and do our best to mentor a big group of high school seniors into higher education. I had a wonderful group of mentors with me along the way: Ariana, Asia, Devin, Georgia, Caden, Kendrick, and Peter, as well as our lovely group leader, Kaylee. We had so much fun with our mentees every week. It was a challenge to find a good balance of work and play in our sessions, but we eventually found it. We noticed if we had too much fun with the games and icebreakers, there wasn't enough time for college prep. But if we focused only on the material, it was difficult to keep the kids engaged. Once we found this balance, it was so much fun, and we had the best time with our mentees. This semester in SOAR, I met the most amazing people, and I also had experiences that I will take with me for the rest of my life. I'll take my mentoring experience with me into my classroom as a future arts educator. Bringing in everything I read, saw, and experienced with my mentees into my classroom will allow me to create a safe space with an overall strong sense of belonging for students, encouraging them to push beyond their limits and do the impossible. Learning more about Indigenous culture, specifically throughout the local Tucson community, was life-changing, especially being welcomed into these schools and cultures and being able to aid in the success of future college students, hopefully making an impact on the statistic of Native identifying students in higher ed and increasing that number back up to 1% and beyond.